favorite rappers' time, your favorite movie stars' time, your favorites' time. Let's get into this. The Anthony Myrie situation. There are three things that we need to see in order to be satisfied. Number one, it is the video camera footage around the approximate time he was speaking with his wife, and we want to see which security guards dragged him out of the area to do whatever they felt it was necessary. That's number one. We got to see that. We got to see that. You got to show us what happened. If he was doing something wrong, show us what it was. If he was past his curfew, show us what it was. Show it. Number two, we need to answer why there was no registry in the medical hospital he was claimed to have gone to when information was requested by a loved one. We want to know what that was about. It's medical information. That is something that should be in the registry at a certain time. And we want to know, we want to know who gave the information to her, or who was the one that claimed he was there without a shadow of a doubt. Number three, and this is one of the most important ones, we would like to see a toxicology / autopsy report of his deceased nature. Once again, we need to see this. We need to know if, number one, let's 3.1. That's my new 3.1. We want to see 3.1. Number 3.1, we want to know all his organs were intact. 3.2, we want to know what was the trauma that caused his heart to stop beating. 3.3, we need to know if there was any physical alterations or alterations chemically within his body. And that's under toxicology report, because this is very important. And if you guys look up the way organs are removed and things, you'll know why. You'll know why. Listen to me. This is a demand to the public. If you're going to tell me someone was a danger that they needed to get taken out, I need to know what their danger was, what happened to them, because taxpayer money pays for these inmates to stay within that realm. So we deserve to have the information, let alone the fact that there's people out here you're not arrested that are doing criminal things all the time. But this one individual for substance, and again, if anybody pulls my leg, tries to yank my leg, we'll do a discussion of all the pedophiles that were let free, that their victims are still alive. You want to know what would be real messed up? If I found their victims and got them to start speaking out, I'm going to have you messed up, because I'm going to point it back to which case they were in, who said it was going to. I told y'all better play nice with me this year. Play nice. I'll find every victim. We'll figure out who was charged, whether they were on probation or not. They're still guilty of doing that. We'll find out and we'll press it. I'll press it. I'll put the country on press. We will push it. And I will go East Coast to West Coast with pedophiles victims speaking up. I'll do it. I'll do it. And it'll be big. I'll get your favorite stars involved. We will push this thing. Because this is a situation where you can make an excuse why a Caucasian predator is out of his cage. But when it's an African American man that was beaten and killed for no reason, there's no answers. No one knows. I'm different. And you'll see it. You gonna mess around, have me hit up Jay-Z. You better stop playing with me. You better stop playing with me. I ain't playing with y'all. They think I'm playing. They think we playing out here. You gonna just beat and murder up another black guy killed. Keep it moving. And you're gonna let these correctional officers get away. What's crazy is I can't even presume a race of them. That's how racist blacks have become in this day and age. Really. Because this is why you're dumb. Racism isn't about a color. It's about power. The power to abuse that you give to these lames. Because what the problem with these lames is, they never had power. Never had it. Was always getting slammed in lockers, stuffed in toilets, thrown through walls. But then they put the badge on. They're like, yeah, I'm the man. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're just a coward in power. Hashtag cowards in power. You know how I rock. We ain't playing with it. We ain't playing with it. Anthony, Myrie, we need some answers. The top 3 things I named at the top of this video needs addressed. I ain't going to put a shot clock on you. I ain't going to put a time limit, but I will say this. If we don't get answers / they play with it and you play with me, when I know that there's pedophiles out here on probation, I will light the city up. I will have the name of all these people floating around who's on probation. I'll link up with all their victims and we'll do one big live stream series that you won't, I'll have the whole world in tune, that they see aftermath of a pedophile predator that was given justices above the law. I'll do it. And I'll title it just like that. You won't stop it. Nuh-uh. You can't stop that. A lot of people want to know about that type of stuff. And we'll even get into the gritty details of what happened. Matter of fact, I'll aim for those that were children that are now adults. You don't want that. And I know exactly who doesn't want that. Oh, and by the way, for the prequel of this series, I'll release the name of those priests recently in my area that were found to be doing this. Yeah, I'll release it all. And I'll tell exactly what happened. I'll tell how they got let off, who let them off. I'll tell who didn't include their names. I will shake the hemisphere. You're talking to the czar of all rights reserved. I am not playing with you nasty dudes. You nasty dudes, disgusting dudes, you decrepit dudes, sloppy, all sloppy, all sorts of slop. Guys, you should see them. They're all sorts of sloppy, but they're well connected. I will say that. But my connections, greatest nation since United Nations. Pay what you owe. You can't pay this off though. Pay what you owe though. It's your decision. We've been lit. And some of you got wives? Really? Don't worry. Hey, Billy Bob, that's sitting right beside him. Not your real name. We're going to say Billy Bob, that's sitting right beside him. I see you looking at their wife. She could be yours. Don't worry. I'll make sure she's yours. Don't worry. She'll be yours. He'll be out the way. Trust me. And then you allow these I'll even do a series on domestic abuse. Do you know how many stories I got? How dudes who have a history of domestic abuse, gun charges, putting gun to women, and they get out with no time and things because they know someone. I'll have you all hung. Really, I got stories for days. I will get you guys handled. Shout out to New York, all over New York, all my people, from High Bridge to Harlem, everybody I rock with, from Yonkers all the way up to Buffalo, everybody, Long Island, Staten Island, all rights reserved. We in here. What they think? TheCzarr, all rights reserved. The worldwide TheCzarr is before you. You ready? You ready? I'm ready for the series. Are y'all ready? Live stream's gonna be lit. The methods lit. The conversations lit. What I'm bringing up lit. What we're gonna talk about after that lit. Remember, and some of you may not know, episode 1 of my TheCzarr series, I told them I had at the least, now get me, at the least 5 years of content off the dome, memorized. Do you really think that there's an equal? Do you really think that there's an equal? memorized. Learning from one of the greatest moguls in media. I have been trained for years, seeing the method, learning, making mistakes, and growing. But I know evil when I see evil. And there's a lot of bad guys that put on that priest robe. All rights reserved.